Skin Stealer, Smiler, Hound, Partygoer, Dullers, Facelings, Mother, Window. There's a documented case from Level 2 where a guy followed an exit sign for 40 minutes straight. Perfect green rectangle, the word exit glowing clean and bright. He said it stayed exactly 60 feet ahead of him no matter how fast he walked. When he finally ran toward it, the sign ran too, matched his speed perfectly. Then it stopped, turned around, and he realized the exit sign had legs. 8 of them. Here's the thing about Backrooms entities. The ones that look like your way out are the ones that kill you fastest. Skin Stealer, you see someone at the end of a hallway. Finally, another person. They're waving at you, excited, relieved. You start walking toward them and something feels wrong, but you can't place it. Their proportions are slightly off. Arms maybe an inch too long, head tilted at an angle that's almost right but not quite. You're close enough now to see their face, and that's when you notice their smile doesn't move when they talk. The mouth opens and closes, but the smile stays frozen, stretched too wide, like it's painted on. Because it is. That's not their face. A Skin Stealer wears faces the way you wear clothes, and the fit is never perfect because faces aren't meant to be removable. The wiki says they hunt by mimicking the last person they killed, using the victim's appearance to lure the next target. But here's what the wiki doesn't emphasize enough. They can't mimic behavior. They've got the visual down after enough practice, skin texture, hair, even clothing somehow, but they move wrong. A woman named Sarah documented an encounter in Level 1. She saw her friend Marcus at the end of a hallway. Marcus had died 3 days earlier. She'd seen it happen. But there he was, waving, calling her name. She walked closer because grief makes you stupid. Marcus was walking toward her now, smiling, and Sarah noticed he wasn't blinking. Not once. Humans blink every 4 seconds on average. Marcus had been walking for 30 seconds with dry eyes locked on her. She ran, heard footsteps chasing her, faster than Marcus ever ran when he was alive. And when she looked back, the Marcus thing was on all fours, sprinting like an animal, face still smiling. Skin Stealers are patient until they're not. They'll mime human behavior for minutes, waiting for you to get close, but the second you run, they drop the act. The skin stays on, though. That's the worst part, Sarah said, watching her dead friend's face chase her on all fours, broke something in her head she never got back. Smiler, white teeth in the dark, that's all you see at first. A crescent smile floating in a shadow, watching you from an alcove or around a corner. It doesn't move, doesn't approach. Just smiles. Your brain does this thing where it tries to fill in the rest of the face. You'll see eyes that aren't there, a nose, a head shape. Pattern recognition going haywire, trying to make sense of teeth suspended in nothing. Most people stare at it, trying to figure out what they're looking at. That's the trap. A guy named Kevin recorded audio of his encounter. 3 minutes of him asking, "Hello?" and "Can you hear me?" at a smile that never answered. Then his voice changes. Gets dreamy, confused. He walks toward it. Says it looks like the exit. Can't we see the exit right there? Why aren't we going toward the exit? The recording cuts. They found his camera 4 days later. No, Kevin. Just the camera sitting in an empty room with teeth marks on the casing. Smilers do something to perception. The wiki calls it a cognitohazard, which is a fancy way of saying looking at it rewires your brain. The smile becomes what you need most. An exit, a friend, safety. Your mind is so desperate to make sense of the smile in the dark that it invents context, and the context is always, "This is good, move closer." Only one consistent way to break it: pain. Bite your tongue, dig nails into your palm, anything that spikes your nervous system. Physical pain disrupts the effect long enough to look away. The people who survive Smiler encounters all report the same thing. The second they looked away and ran, they felt stupid. How did I think teeth in the dark were an exit? But in the moment, it made perfect sense. That's how it gets you. Hound. 4 legs, but they bend wrong. Joints in places that don't match dog or wolf anatomy. The limbs are red, skinless, muscle texture visible, and they're long. Too long. A hound stands about 5 feet tall at the shoulder when it wants to, but the legs compress and extend like hydraulics. 1 second it's dog-sized. Next second, it's looking you in the eye, and you're 6 feet tall. They show up in level 3 mostly, but they've been spotted in level 0 and level 2, always near electrical sources. Wires, breaker boxes, flickering lights. A maintenance worker named Josh thought he found a service tunnel, the kind that might lead back to reality. He heard barking. Normal dog barking, friendly even. He loves dogs, had 2 growing up. The bark was coming from deeper in the tunnel, and Josh figured maybe someone's pet got stuck here. He follows the sound. The barking gets closer. Then he turns a corner, and it's there. Red limbs, no skin. Head that's almost a dog, but the proportions are wrong. Snout too short. Eyes too forward-facing. It barks again, and the sound doesn't match the body. It's a recording, a playback of a bark from some other dog in some other place, coming out of this thing's throat. Josh ran. Smart. Hounds don't chase if you leave their territory immediately. But if you hesitate, if you try to process what you're seeing, they interpret that as aggression. Then they chase, and their legs extend, and they cover 30 feet in 2 seconds. The red limbs aren't bloody, that's just their color. The wiki thinks they're extra-dimensional, only partially present in our space, and the red is what happens when something not meant for our reality tries to manifest here. The barking trick works because humans are wired to investigate familiar animal sounds. We domesticated dogs 30,000 years ago. That bark means friend, means help, means safe. Hounds weaponize 40 millennia of evolution. Partygoer. Teal party hats sitting crooked on a head that used to be human. They're always smiling, not like smilers where it's just teeth. Partygoers have whole faces, and the faces are smiling, and the smiling never stops even when they're ripping someone apart. They come from level fun, but they wander, looking for people to invite back to the party. A college kid named Emma encountered one in level 1. She was exhausted, starving, hadn't seen anyone in 2 days. Then this person appears, wearing a party hat, holding a slice of cake, smiling so wide it looks painful. The person says, "Are you having fun?" And Emma almost cries because finally, someone kind, someone offering food. The person holds out the cake. Emma reaches for it and notices the person's fingernails are gone, not broken, gone. Smooth skin where nails should be. She looks up at the smile and realizes it's not moving. The face is smiling, but the smile isn't changing shape when the mouth talks. The jaw moves, but the smile stays constant, stretched across the face like it's been stapled there. Emma backs away. The partygoer's smile somehow gets wider. "You have to eat," it says, voice flat, and starts walking toward her. Emma ran. She could hear it behind her, singing "Happy Birthday" in a monotone, footsteps matching her pace exactly. It chased her for 11 minutes before giving up. Do not glamorize harm. Focus on craft, logic, and psychology. Partygoers are converted humans. They used to be wanderers who ate the cake or stayed in level fun too long. The conversion process destroys their personality but keeps their body functional. They remember parties are supposed to be fun, that cake is supposed to make people happy, but they don't remember why. So they just repeat the actions, smiling because that's what you do at parties, offering cake because that's what hosts do. And when you refuse, they get confused and aggressive, because refusing cake doesn't fit the party script. The teal hat is permanent. It doesn't come off. Some people think it's fused to the skull. Dullers. Static in human shape. That's the best description. You'll see a person standing in a corridor, but they're blurry, out of focus, like your eyes can't quite lock onto them. You blink, try to clear your vision, but they stay fuzzy, gray, indistinct. You can make out a head, arms, legs, but no details, no face, no clothing texture, nothing. They don't move when you're looking. The second you look away, they're closer. Look back, they're frozen again. Classic predator behavior. A photographer named Lisa had a camera with her when she encountered one. She took pictures while walking backward, keeping it in frame. 3 photos. First photo, it's 60 feet away. Second photo taken 10 seconds later, it's 40 feet away. Third photo, 5 seconds after that, it's 20 feet. She wasn't looking away between shots. The camera was pointed at it the whole time. but the photos show it moving, like your eyes pin it in place, but cameras don't count. She ran after the third photo. Smart. The wiki doesn't have a lot of survivor accounts for dullers because most people who encounter them don't survive to report. The pattern seems to be they get within 10 feet, and then something happens that cameras don't record and witnesses don't remember. Lisa said she felt it behind her when she ran. A cold spot, like a freezer, had opened. She didn't look back, made it to a different level. Her camera had one more photo she didn't remember taking. A close-up of static with 2 dark spots that might have been eyes. The dullers look like exits because they look like nothing. Your brain wants to skip over them, categorize them as unimportant, background noise. By the time you realize the static has a shape and the shape is close, you've wasted 30 seconds of running time. Facelings. Blank faces on normal bodies, skin where the eyes should be, smooth surface where a nose and mouth should be. They wear clothes, sometimes, wander in groups occasionally. You'll see 3 or 4 of them at the end of a hallway, just standing there, heads turned toward you, and your brain does this desperate thing where it tries to make them make sense. They look almost human. Same height, same build. Maybe it's just bad lighting. Maybe they're wearing masks. You walk closer to check. That's how they get you. A guy named Marcus documented this. He saw a group of 5 facelings in level 1, thought they were other survivors wearing something over their faces for protection. He called out. They turned toward him in unison, perfect synchronization, and started walking. Slow, steady. Marcus waved, tried to signal friendly. They kept walking. Same pace, same rhythm, getting closer. And Marcus finally notices there are no eye holes in those faces, no seams, no edges. That's just their face. Flat skin from hairline to chin. He runs. They don't chase. They never chase. But Marcus said the worst part was they didn't stop walking. He could hear their footsteps behind him, steady rhythm, for 20 minutes. Never speeding up, never slowing down, just walking. Facelings aren't aggressive in the traditional sense. They follow, track. If you run far enough, fast enough, they lose you. But if you stop, if you hide and wait, they'll walk right to wherever you're hiding and stand there, waiting. The wiki has one account of someone who hid in a room and barricaded the door. 4 facelings stood outside that door for 6 hours, silent. When the person finally left, they started walking again, following. It's unclear what happens if they catch you. No confirmed survivors. But the implication is, you become one. The blank face is the final stage of something. Mother. A woman's voice calling for her child. It echoes through hallways, soft and worried. Sweetheart, where are you? It sounds so real, so human. Desperate and loving and scared. A 19-year-old named Tyler heard it in level 2. His mom had died when he was 16. The voice sounded exactly like her. Same inflection, same pet name she used. He followed it without thinking, running through corridors, calling back, Mom? The voice stayed ahead of him, always one room away, leading him deeper. After 15 minutes, the voice changed slightly. Still his mom, but the words were wrong. Come here, sweetheart, let me hold you. His mom never said, let me hold you. She said, come get a hug. Small difference. Huge red flag. Tyler stopped running. The voice continued from the next room, repeating the same phrase. Let me hold you. Let me hold you. Let me hold you. Rhythm unchanging. He backed away slowly. Something stepped into the hallway ahead. Tall, thin, too many arms. 6 or 8, hard to count in the bad lighting. The voice came from it. Let me hold you, sweetheart. Perfect imitation of his mom's voice coming from something that had never been human. Tyler ran the other direction. It followed, not fast, just steady. The voice never stopped. Let me hold you. Let me hold you. It chased him for an hour. He only escaped by finding a stairwell down to level 3. The voice echoed from above for another 10 minutes before fading. The entity pulls voices from memory somehow. The wiki doesn't know how. But it always uses someone you loved, always sounds perfect, always leads you away from safe zones into isolated areas. The multiple arms are for holding. That's the theory. It calls you with a familiar voice, promises comfort, and when you're close enough it grabs you with enough arms that you can't escape. The embrace is the trap. Window. You find a window in the back rooms and your heart explodes with hope. A window means outside, means reality, means escape. You look through the glass and see sky. Blue sky, clouds, maybe trees in the distance, sunlight that you haven't seen in days. You try to open the window. It's sealed. You break it. The glass shatters and behind it is just more yellow wallpaper, or concrete, or nothing, just darkness. But the image of sky is still there somehow, floating in the empty window frame like a projection. A woman named Rachel broke 7 windows in level 1, chasing the sky she kept seeing. Every window showed blue sky and clouds. Every window was fake. The 7th window, she climbed through after breaking it. Doesn't matter what was behind the image. She climbed through anyway. They never found her. The windows are spatial anomalies. Portals, maybe, but not to outside, to somewhere else that isn't mapped. The wiki classifies them as cognitohazards because the image of the outside world is so compelling that people ignore obvious red flags. Why would a sealed window in a concrete room show moving clouds? Why does the sunlight not illuminate anything? Why can you see trees but hear no wind? Your brain doesn't care. It sees sky and decides that's the exit. Must be. Has to be. And you'll break reality trying to reach it because the alternative is staying in the yellow hallways forever, and anything is better than that. Windows are hope-shaped traps. They look like exits. They promise escape, and the people who go through them are never seen again. The entities that look like exits are the smartest hunters in the backrooms. They don't need to be faster or stronger. They just need to look like the one thing you want more than anything: a way out. Your brain is so desperate for exits that it'll accept teeth in darkness, a blurry figure, a blank-faced crowd, anything that might be the door home. And by the time you realize the exit has legs, or arms, or teeth, or no face at all, you're close enough that running might not matter anymore. The real exits don't look like anything. They're just doors. Boring, normal, unmarked doors. And you'll walk past 100 of them, chasing the smile that promised to lead you out.